Alright guys, welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be focusing on identifying the side lengths and the range of the third side of triangles. And we're going to show that mastery by scoring at least an 80% on an exit ticket. Hopefully you have the note sheet in front of you. If you don't, take out a blank sheet of paper and we'll get you a fresh copy tomorrow. Now, your definition of the triangle inequality theorem says the sum of the lengths of any two sides of a triangle is greater than the length of the third side. Now, we need to kind of break down this definition. First of all, the sum means we're going to be adding. It's any two sides of that triangle. They have to be greater than the third side. Now, we're doing this specifically for triangles. So that means we're going to have to do this 3 times. There's 3 different sides. In the case of this example triangle, we have point A, point B, and point C. So first things first, I'm going to take AB, and I'm going to add it to AC, and it has to be greater than BC. Okay. Well, I don't, actually, I'll leave those tally marks up there. We added those 2. Then we need to take AB, and we need to take BC and add them together. Has to be greater than AC. Last but not least, we need to take AC and we need to take BC and add it all together. So each side is going to get used twice in the sum part of the problem. The third time it's going to get used, it's the answer and it needs to be greater than what is there. Now, the benefit of this, if we think about addition, if you add the 2 smallest numbers together and it's bigger than the biggest number, well, adding any number to the bigger number and comparing it to one of the smaller sides is always going to work. So, if we look at these 2 examples, we have letter A, 4, 9, and 5. Well, 9 is definitely my largest number. So I'm going to take the 2 smaller numbers to start. In this case, I'm going to add 4 and 5. And we want to know, is 4 plus 5 greater than 9? Well, in this case, 9 is definitely not greater than 9. So the sides 4, 9, and 5 cannot make a triangle. Now, we can take the long way, and we can add 4 plus 9, and is it greater than 5? Yes. Then we can take 5 plus 9, and is it greater than 4? Yes. Then we can say 4 plus 5 is greater than 9? Well, no. So by default, it's no. But again, start with your 2 smallest sides. If you do that, and it's greater than your third side, it will work every single time. If I look at letter B, 9 is my biggest number again. So I'm going to take my 2 smaller numbers because adding any number to your largest number is going to be bigger than any of your smaller numbers. Well, 5 plus 5 gives me 10, and is 10 bigger than 9? It is. So, since it is bigger than 9, it works. If we look at the examples on your paper, the first example we have is 3, 4, 5. Again, look for that biggest number. In this case, 5 is my biggest number. So I'm going to add my 2 smaller numbers. That needs to be greater than my biggest. Well, 3 plus 4 is 7. 7's bigger than 5. So yes, the sides 3, 4, 5 do make a triangle. And that's all we want to know. Do they make a triangle? If I look at letter B, be careful that you don't just take the first 2 numbers and compare it to the third. You always want to search for your biggest number. Well, 12 is my biggest number. So I'm going to take 7 plus 8, and that needs to be bigger than 12. Well, 7 plus 8 is 15, and 15 is definitely bigger than 12. So yes, it does make a triangle. If we look at letter C, again, my biggest side is 8. So I'm going to take my 2 smaller sides, 3 plus 3, and it needs to be bigger than 8. Well, 3 plus 3 is 6. 6 is not bigger than 8, so no, it does not make a triangle. I know it seems super simple. The biggest thing you need to be careful, make sure you find the biggest side. Do not just add the first two numbers together. And that's why I box it, so it stands out to me. I know that that's my biggest side, so I'm going to add everything that's not boxed. Now, the other thing we're going to look at is finding the range of the third side. So if I give you two sides of a triangle, how can you find that third side? What you want to do is you're going to both add to your smaller side, your two numbers, and you're going to subtract your two numbers. So in this case, 12 plus 6 is 18, and 12 minus 6 is 6. This tells me my range. 6 is going to be my lower number, and 18, is my higher number. Now, here's how we know this works. If I were to plug in 6 here, if I do what we just learned on the other side, 6 plus 6 is greater than 12. Well, in this case, 12 is not greater than 12. So we can't have a value of 6 there. So it has to be greater than 6. Now, if I put 6.1, that's saying 6 plus 6.1 is greater than 12. Well, 12.1 is greater than 12. So it just can't be equal to 6, but it can be greater than. Now, with 18, if I were to put 18 here, I know your triangle wouldn't look like that because 18 would be the longest side, but it's one of those, I put a visual so you could see it. If I take my two smaller sides, 6 plus 12 is greater than 18. Well, 18 is not greater than 18. If I were to put 18.1, 6 plus 12 still equals 18, but it needs to be greater than 18.1. Well, 18 is not bigger than 18.1. So we have to go lower. If I were to do 17.9, 6 plus 12 is still your 18, but it is greater than 17.9. So it has to be greater than 6, but it has to be less than 18. Here's one without the picture, but it's just a word problem. Find the range of the missing side if two sides are 4 inches and 7 inches. Now, we don't know if 7 inches is the largest. We don't know if 4 inches is the smallest. So, to find the smallest part of my inequality, I'm going to subtract. 7 minus 4 is 3. The largest part of my inequality, we're going to add. We're going to assume that 7 and 4 are not the largest parts. You get 11. Again, it can't be equal to, because if I plug those numbers in and let it be 3, 3 plus 4 needs to be bigger than 7. Well, 7 is not equal to 7. If I use 11, 7 plus 4 has to be bigger than 11. 11 is not greater than 11. So my range, 3 is less than x, which is less than 11. So that means any number between 3 and 11 would work. That does not include 3 and 11, though. Make sure you do not put that equals line underneath your inequality symbol. Please bring your notes and any questions you have to class tomorrow. I look forward to seeing you then.